In this first look video from InfluenceWP, we are taking a look at LifterLMS, which is a WordPress plugin that, as it shows on my screen, is going to help you launch your course website in a matter of minutes. If you've been around WordPress for any length of time, you more than likely you've heard of LifterLMS. There are a lot of people that love it. There are a lot of people that promote it. There's a lot of people that do education around it. So with that in mind, we are going to keep this video, which most of the first look videos I do are extremely high level, but we sometimes dive a little bit into the weeds. This is really going to be super high level. We're just going to go through the website here a bit, look at some key pages. I've got access to a demo site. We're going to look at the product firsthand. We're not going to sit here and build courses and that sort of thing, but it's going to be a very high level introduction, because once we look at the LifterLMS website, you're going to see that it's been covered and covered and covered over again by numerous folks. And it's their YouTube channel, for example, is current. It's constantly getting updates. Their documentation's amazing. They've been around for a long time, well entrenched in the WordPress ecosystem. So there's not a whole lot of value that I can add in that area, other than just introducing them, letting the InfluenceWP community know that they are a partner and they are offering an exclusive offer, a very generous one at that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Just a quick bit of housekeeping. First look videos cover products that we have no prior experience with. They show vendors how new users experience their website and product for the very first time. These videos are unedited, high-level introductions that are not paid for, they're not sponsored, and they contain no affiliate links. If you like what you see in this video and you're interested in being a partner and having videos like this created for your business, go to influencewp.com/partners and request your free partner membership. And again, we thank LifterLMS for being a partner. If you like what you see in this video, go over to our website, find the deals area, and look for that exclusive offer. At the time of this recording, it is 70% off, which is just extremely generous. And we're grateful for LifterLMS to be a partner. All right. So the website we're looking at today is LifterLMS, Larry, Mo, Shirley. I don't know if that just came off the top of my head there. LifterLMS.com. So the key pages we're going to look at, and I've poked around this website before hitting record. You're going to see that, again, they've got everything covered. Okay. So let's look at features first. We're going to go up under the navigation, under software, and then features. It's going to be everything that you can possibly imagine in a learning management system platform. The ability to create courses and everything involved with that, lessons, quizzes, course builders, you name it. Moving on down, the ability to make money, to monetize off of course creation, course websites. They're going to give you everything you need there. Credit card payments, reoccurring payments, different payment gateways, pre-selling country and different currencies, that type of stuff. Moving on down, ways to engage students. So achievement badges, certificates, personalized emails, private coaching, you name it. Moving on down to memberships, which is part of monetization. Doesn't have to be, but oftentimes it is. You can do different types of memberships, sell course bundles, do regular traditional types of memberships that don't necessarily have to be intertwined with courses or LMS systems at all. Different types of enrollment, content restrictions, private group discussions, member-only forums, and so on. The ability to integrate tools that you need, payment gateways, email marketing, use any type of theme, your CRM, forums. Next up, we have protecting your content. So course protection, member-only content, password management, restricted access. Moving on down, we have ways to manage your platform for your course website, detailed reporting, email notifications, student management, branding, roles, security, different types of layouts, page builder, compatibility, Zapier, app integration, and so on and so forth. And tons of ways to get support, technical support, live office hours, demo courses, feature requests, masterminds, just anything that you can think of is available there for support. The next thing I typically look at is the About page, and I did see that in the header area. Let's do it. Go ahead and just do a search here. There we go. We'll go ahead and click on that link there in the header nav. This is one of the key pages I look at because I think it really establishes trust with potential customers. And again, Lifter LMS, I'll keep saying it, been around a long time, very popular, well loved in the WordPress community, along with Chris Badgett, who's the CEO and founder. Great guy, super great guy, super generous, as you've seen with the exclusive offer that they're offering the InfluenceWP community, but just a great guy to talk to. I think we talked for an hour when I met with Chris. Very easy to talk to, just a great founder and CEO. So it's great to see faces with names. If you've been in WordPress, like I said, you've heard of Lifter, you've probably heard of Chris Badgett as well. But this is the kind of about page that you want to see. Faces with names of the team members. So very well done there. Next up, I like to look for documentation. And I found that under the Learn menu item. And I went to Knowledge Base, I think is where I went. Very extensive documentation. Just goes on and on and on. Let's just dive into getting started, for example. What I love too is what I like to see is search built in, the ability to search through any of the docs. If I want to put, maybe just type in the word install, there we go. We can do a search through their documentation for anything related to that. Let's go ahead and dive into this. I'll just pick a random link here. How do I create a quiz in Lifter LMS? We've got video tutorials. Like I said, there are so many people creating content for this. There's no need for me to try and replicate that here. Just a high level introduction. But you can see videos, screenshots with annotations, just extremely well done, helping, again, establish that trust with potential customers and then helping current customers learn more about the product and whatnot. The next thing I like to look at is a change log. So I see that we find that right under the same Learn menu item, top level item there. They cover this too. What's changed? What's new? What's fixed? What is the version number? We have that covered. What date was it released? The date really helps establish the trust with customers. A lot of product creators out there don't list dates for whatever reason, and it just leaves people wondering, how active is the development of this solution? And it erodes trust when potential customers have to ask that question. So Lifter LMS covers this as well. So we covered the features at a high level. They have an amazing about page, have amazing documentation, and have an amazing change log. Those are the 4 pages that I look at to establish customer trust, potential customer trust right off the bat. Okay. So next up, let's take a very high level look at the solution. I was given access to a demo site. Typically, I'm given access, like a license where I can install it and see the entire process. But in this case, I was given access to a demo site, which is not a problem. I just don't have full control over everything. We can't walk through, installing the plugin, licensing it up. Is there an onboarding wizard? That sort of thing. I can't really show you because it's kind of already in here. There's other ways I could get around it, but I'm just going to roll with the demo they gave. Let's go over to plugins. And we see, unlike on my demo sites, there's a ton of plugins in here. So there's just way too much to cover in a first look video. And I, again, don't have control over all of this. I'm not going in here and deactivating all these plugins and only activating Lifter LMS and then going from there, right? So we're just going to do what we can at a very high level. We also see a lot of mentions of cadence. So if we go under appearance and themes, I believe we have SkyPilot here. So SkyPilot, I don't know if there's a free version, but I believe SkyPilot is a premium, paid only theme, custom theme from the Lifter LMS folks. I could be wrong about that, but I think it's premium only. But that's what they are using here. But again, as I mentioned, that cadence is mentioned a lot when you think of Lifter LMS, and that's because the team I believe there is a partnership. I could be wrong about that too. Let's go back over here. Here we go. So maybe it's not Cadence necessarily, but I know there's a partnership with like Paid Membership Pro because we see Jason Coleman and Kim Coleman here. There may be, and they actually have partner listed there. For some reason, I thought Cadence was part of that, but apparently it's not. Anyway, so they're using SkyPilot, not Cadence as the theme. So all good there. I just want to give you a little bit of the background of what's running here just for fun. Obviously, we have LifterLMS running the core product, and we have tons and tons of add-ons here. So that's cool. But this is why it's got to be a first look at this stage, because LifterLMS for one is a new partner, so I haven't even played with it outside of what we're doing here. That's why it's a first look video. But you'd have to think about installing the core plugin, the theme you're going to use, which add-ons are you going to use, build the courses. There's just a lot goes into it, right? So what we're going to do here, I'm just going to go over to this LifterLMS menu item, see what we have. So we have a nice dashboard here, stats on for enrollments, registrations, sales, lessons, all that stuff. Your typical type of dashboard. We're not going to dive too much into this, staying super high level. And we've got a settings area. So you've got some general settings, content protection, things of that nature, role setup. Then you get into courses and setting all of that stuff up, memberships. What's that look like? All the security stuff that you want to set up. Accounts, checkout. So the different type of checkout settings, currency settings, payment gateways that are enabled. You can set a priority of which one is at the top versus the bottom. So when they go to do those checkout options, you're presenting them in a certain order. Engagements, email settings, email delivery, certificates, all the different types of notification options that you can configure. Integrations, they have a ton of integrations. This is nice that it's showing you what's installed and what's enabled. So here we have not installed, but it's enabled. Not quite sure how that works. But here we have a Vimeo videos we have installed but not activated. So a nice breakdown there. We see all these different types of integrations up here at the top that you can click on. Let's click on BuddyPress, picking a random example, and then you can have the individual settings for each of the integrations. Let's go back over to integrations real quick and see. I was curious about this. So MailChimp is not installed, but it's enabled. So let's go over to MailChimp. So it is enabled with this checkbox, but they say it's not installed. Let's go over to plugins. Let's do a search for MailChimp. It looks like it is installed and it is activated. So that's interesting. Not quite sure what's going on there. All right, so that's the settings, the quick lay of the land. Actually, got one more thing, REST API integration. So you can jump in here and add an API key for whatever it is that you want to connect to. And there are also webhooks. Jumping over to reporting, we have a breakdown of students, courses, memberships, assignments, quizzes, sales, and enrollments. So you've got the user ID, the username, when they registered, progress, their grade, enrollments, completion, certificates, achievements, memberships. Let's click into one of these links. Here we go. So now we get more of a breakdown of the particular student in this case, and then we can jump through the various tabs, maybe check out their certificates. They don't have one, maybe achievements, memberships, courses. Okay, there we go. So here are the courses that they're enrolled in. We can dive into one of those courses. Here is a breakdown of all of the courses as it pertains to this particular user. Really cool, really cool. So as we see here, we have a breadcrumb. So we're under students, we're under Priscilla, student, we'll call her, and then under all courses, and then we're breaking down into the crypto apps. So you can just kind of drill down into each student and figure out what their progress is. All right, so forms. Let's see what we have under here. Let's click Add New just to see what our options are. Okay, we can add a title for our form. It's interesting that it does show cadence here. Kind of makes me wonder if there's maybe a partnership there. It doesn't really matter, but I'm just curious. So if we don't have the cadence theme installed, maybe we just have blocks. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we have cadence blocks that are coming into play. Cool. All right. So I was just curious how that got in there. So let's go back to the forms. Here we go. So this looks like it's building with cadence. And then up here, you've got that design library. Doesn't seem to be doing anything when I click on it. But anyway, that's beside the point. No big deal. Actually, let's do this. Let's do a search. I'm just clicking on this blue plus icon here. I'm just going to do a search for cadence. All right, cadence. All right, nothing's coming up there. So I'm not quite sure what's going on here. If it's cadence building these, or if it's I'm not quite sure what's going on. I just see this cadence design library up here, but maybe this is being built with actual just LifterLMS components. All right. The main thing is here, you can see that you can, with blocks, create your forms. I'm just kind of curious, like how this is being done. Anyway, we'll go ahead and move on. So you can build your forms, pretty standard stuff in building forms. Just know that that's there and it's using some form of blocks. We could go over here to the Cadence website and go to knowledge base and maybe do a search for forms. One thing that's interesting here, I think I glossed over this before, is that the search is actually pulling from Google rather than it looks like from their own. Yeah, enhanced by Google. Okay. So you've got all these integrations with different forms, but I'm not quite sure what's being used here. Anyway, we'll go ahead and move on. Just know that you can easily build forms. Next up, we have, we're on the import menu item. So we can download and import all kinds of courses, templates, routines, playbooks. So let's go ahead and click on this. So maybe you don't want to start your course from scratch. Let's see, learn how to use the most important parts in less than 30 minutes. Let's see what this does. Download and import. All right, import successful, imported course. Let's go ahead and click on that. So this is going to give you, I'm guessing, a lay of the land, so you don't have to just start from nothing and figure out how to build a course. So you can learn from this or just edit this and make it your own. So you've got all of these different modules in here. If you've ever used the WordPress block editor, some of these are going to look, they're just familiar. Here we've got what looks like a specific LifterLMS block, a pricing table. We have a course syllabus block. Moving on down here, we've got all types of course options that we can set on a per course basis. Let's go ahead and preview this on the front end. Here we go. About this course, sign up for the course. So, these videos are unedited. I say that at the beginning because you probably heard my dog start to bark. So, apologies on that. Just press pause and came back. So, we are all good. Going to continue on. So, we're looking at a course, a quick start course from the front end that we've downloaded. Lifter LMS is nice enough to make available so you don't have to start a course completely from scratch. And we're just looking at this from the front end as you would if you were like a student. So you come over here, you click on under getting started, maybe the first one of 7 course modules. You get a nice video, and then move on to the next lesson, just as you would with any course. If you've ever done a course, this is very nicely laid out. It's very familiar. You just keep working through the lessons and whatnot. But up here in the top right, I see take notes. So if you want to take some notes along the way, you can do that. That is a really cool feature. As a reminder, this is a first look video. I've literally never seen Lifter LMS before. So I'm just poking around as a new user would, kind of like just getting a lay of the land and what's possible. But obviously super easy to use, very powerful stuff. Let's go back over under Lifter LMS. Go back to import. So again, you can import courses, lead magnet templates, course template, another course template, all kinds of things. All right, let's go over here to status. This should just be, I'm guessing, yeah. So just like, what version of WordPress are you running? Is debug mode turned on? Things under the hood that you might need to reference if you run into issues, or you need to contact support and you need to provide some information. They give you a nice copy for support button here where they can just gobble up all of this information and you can send it over. So that's the system report tab. We've got tools and utilities. So we can clear all user sessions, reinstall user forms, run a setup. Okay. So this is what I was saying before. We're not going to really be able to see the setup wizard as like setting all this stuff from scratch, but it looks like you can rerun that setup wizard again. Maybe we'll do that. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, welcome to Lifter LMS. Get started now. We can set up our various pages or skip the step. We'll go ahead and just continue. So after page setup, we've got the different payments. What country are we going to be working with from? Which currency should we use? Enable offline payments. Go ahead and continue here. Coupons, so you can set up your coupons or not. Oh, I see. I take that back. Help improve Lifter LMS and get a coupon. Okay, I see what that is. Let's go ahead and just check out what that's going to be. Cool. All right, so they're just asking for permission to track, what it is you're doing in Lifter LMS to help improve it. You can opt out of that, as we see with this no thanks button. Let's go ahead and click allow. And then here at the finish stage, we can do certain things like toggle on and import some of those things that we saw earlier for importing. We can also just click this start from scratch button. I'm gonna go ahead and just click exit setup. And we're gonna go back over to status, tools and utilities. All right, so we covered all that, enough of that. Let's go to beta testing. So you wouldn't want to do this in production, but what this looks like here is if you are in a test environment and you want to run some of the cutting edge, bleeding edges of Lifter LMS or Lifter LMS Helper, you can toggle that over to beta and save an update, and you're going to be on what I'll call the beta channel. Okay, let's go over to logs. These are your various logs, notifications, updater, WooCommerce updater, and then it's like a possibly a server or hosting PHP log. Let's go over to scheduled actions. So if for whatever reason something gets hung up and you need to come over here and look into your scheduled actions, you can come over here and see what's going on and take actions. You can see what's failed and whatnot. So hopefully you don't ever have to come over here, but you can if you need to. Let's go over to resources. So this is going to be a bunch of just educational material. As it's clearly, you can clearly see LifterLMS is dedicated to education, which makes perfect sense because they are helping create a product to help people educate other people. So that makes sense, right? Let's go over here to the add-ons and more menu item. So it looks like we have, let's see, so it starts with bundles. Let's go back to that root level again. Okay, so this starts with all. So that's over here on the far right. Okay, so this is everything. Let's just break these down by individual tabs. So you've got the bundles. So this looks like the certain products that you can buy, the different bundles you can buy. Okay, e-commerce. If you need some specific things for e-commerce, like a certain type of payment gateway or allowing certain payment options, you can enable those here. And I see what they're doing here. So they're also listing the bundles in every one of these tabs in some cases. Not every bundle, but certain bundles in certain cases under each of these tabs. So these bundles, I'm taking it, have something to do with email marketing and unlocking that capability. So rather than maybe just buy MailChimp here or Kit, you could get one of these bundles and it's going to be already in there. So that's really smart. You just keep working your way down through here. We're not going to do that, but you know, the forms, the themes, advanced tools, resources, just tons and tons of stuff here being offered. And they're going to have, I've never built a learning management site personally, but from what I've seen here so far, I can't imagine that it's, and what I know about LifterLMS's reputation, that they don't have everything covered. I can't imagine they don't have everything covered. It has to be all covered. Okay, based on the different plugins and whatever we have installed, we're going to unlock certain things. Courses, memberships. We went over this at the very beginning of the video when we went over the features. Courses, memberships, engagements, groups, private posts, forums, and the list goes on and on. So depending what you install, these types of things are going to be unlocked. We're not going to dive into each of these, but just know, once you get those modules, those plugins, those add-ons, all those different types of things, all of that's going to be unlocked here, and you're going to get all kinds of bells and whistles to set up your learning management site however it is that you need to. Okay. All right. So once again, let's go back here, lifterlms.com. Purposely did not go into creating a course from scratch, diving into all of the different modules, LifterLMS, and the different people helping LifterLMS create the content, the videos, documentation, all of that stuff is already well established. You are going to be well taken care of if you are building a learning management system and you go with LifterLMS. I just have no doubt in my mind, because of the product reputation, because of the team behind it, I just have no doubt that you'd be taken care of. So if you like what you've seen in this video and you think, you want to build a learning management site and you think LifterLMS could be a fit for that, I truly think it is. InfluenceWP.com/deals. Grab that super generous exclusive offer that LifterLMS has provided. And yeah, go build that learning management site. And thanks for watching. See you in the next video.